Welcome back to Good Morning Football. We will be here all morning, and yes, from Hawaii to Alabama to Miami, this is Tua with his family. We've been talking about the bond he has with them, and there they were all together celebrating the next step in his journey. More of this today on NFL Network.
That's right. It was a big night of drama and surprises for the first round of the 2020 NFL Draft. So let's go around the horn and give our thoughts on who we think won the actual draft. You know what? I'll start this thing off, and I'm going to go with the Dolphins. You know, I feel like with everything that we've been saying about the Dolphins, they went out there and they did it their way. Last year, we were saying tank for Tua. I even said a couple of days ago on the show, maybe they're going to wait for a season or another draft and pull the lever on Trevor Lawrence, or maybe even go Herbert in this draft. No, they went with Tua right out the gate, the first pick in their first round. And then after that, they got protection for him. They went and got an offensive lineman. So they got somebody that can take care of Tua for a long time, Austin Jackson out of USC. And then they got the cornerback, Noah. I'll call him Noah I because I don't want to butcher his last name out of respect. And then round two, they still have 2 picks. So yes, just like all of those Dolphin fans that are excited, let me say it right now. I am going to echo the Dolphin, just like the old Sega game, and say, I feel you. You guys won the draft thus far.
Love it. I'm going to give my winner here next. It's not often that the winner of the draft is also the team that won the Super Bowl. Guys, do you remember how good this player was the last time we saw a football game? This was Damian Williams. Do you know who the perfect battery mate will be for Damian Williams? The player that on Wednesday I came on the air and said was my favorite running back and maybe my favorite player overall in this entire draft, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. If you haven't watched this guy, you haven't watched LSU football, and the Kansas City Chiefs scooped him up with the 32nd overall pick. I'll tell you this right now. I have multiple teams telling me they were ripping up papers and furious that the Chiefs got him with the last pick of the first round because he would have been one of the earliest picks in the second round. Do you want to know how good this guy is? He dominated last year in college football at 5'7", was like Darren Sproles times 10. But here's what I love. Brett Veach and Andy Reid, they did the work. You know who they both know? They know a guy named Brian Westbrook. Listen to the soundbite from Brett Veach, the GM, last night after the selection.
Once we get to a point, I kind of give Coach a couple guys to take a peek on. And I told Coach, I said, wait do you finish up your work on Clyde Edwards-Helaire? He's going to remind you of Brian Westbrook. And Coach called me back. He said, he's better than Brian. So, and that's no slight to Brian because got a chance to play against him firsthand.
Better than Brian Westbrook? How does that sound, guys? Put that in an offense that has Mahomes, has Kelsey, has Tyreek Hill, has Hardman. Guys, they returned 20 of 22 starters, and I think they got the biggest playmaker in this entire draft and a guy that's going to absolutely crush some souls. How fast can you get? I love this pick. Chiefs, winners of the Super Bowl and winners of the draft.
Yeah, it's Sproles and Westbrook with a dash of Mike Allstott and Jerome Bettis. That's a nasty dude, too. I love that player. But I have several winners, guys. My winners from the 2020 NFL Draft: fiber optic cable, HDMI, Wi-Fi, and all of the IT warriors who made this thing go. You know, there was this huge anticipation that it was going to be a total digital virtual meltdown and nothing was going to run well and all the internet was going to crash. And frankly, I think the internet kind of wanted it to be like that. They were just waiting for something, and they're watching the coverage, and the second there's a little delay where Mel Kiper sort of steps on Michael Irvin, everybody's freaking out. Have you watched our show? We do it 30 times a show, and that draft ran smooth. I got to tell you, it had a little bit of a Y2K feeling to it in the sense that there was all this buildup, and then there's a reporter in Times Square being like, yeah, everything looks fine. The large cup of noodles looks like it always does. So I think it is an absolutely well-run, smooth draft. You know, we're living in this time, all of us, GMs, owners, whoever, where it's nothing but, can you give me a 10 count? Can you give me 50 more 10 counts? Mute, unmute, mic, unmic, and the worst sentence in the world, I think we lost Kyle. They didn't lose anybody last night. This thing ran like a Swiss watch, and I absolutely loved it. Shout out to the IT Warriors. You guys crushed the draft.
I'm going to say the winner of the draft was Commissioner Roger Goodell. I was so here for it. I think he nailed every little bit. There was levity. There were jokes. He wasn't the face of the draft like he usually is at the podium. He hosted the draft, like Oscars, Emmys, SAG Awards. You need a host? Call up Mr. RG. He's out there TikToking with draft picks. He was raising money with booze for a good cause. NFL.com/release. Look at this TikToking. Are you kidding? Yeah, well, this is not that. But he's TikToking. I loved every second of this, and I was all for such a good cause. NFL.com/relief. I just looked at the numbers. It is up to $3.9 million and going. Of course, there's 2 more days to the NFL draft. You can catch on NFL Network and on all the social media platforms. I loved it, and I really feel like when I was watching it, I thought, you know what? I think Commissioner Roger Goodell loves the draft just as much as we do as fans and just as much as the players do who are walking across the stage. I feel like he really missed the camaraderie in that moment, and he embraced it, and it's all a weird time. He really took us with him. So that's how I feel. What do you guys think? Who's the winner of the draft? At GMFB, we've got more ahead. You saw a little preview there. Shregs, who had the best setup last night?
The guy you just showed was Cliff Kingsbury, and if you want to think Goodell won last night, how about Cliff Kingsbury's winning every night? That's Mike Vrabel's setup. These were incredible. We're going to go through them. It was a rare access into the homes of the coaches and GMs, and we're going to break them down.